someone new. If he breaks your heart, I'll be waiting for you. So let the river run. Hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah. Sat in the corner of the room. Hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah. These days. Hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah. Hey yeah, hey yeah. These days.
From the east side of America, where we choose pride over character. We can pick sides, but this is us, this is us, this is
love and in violence, it's tearing up my bones, left inside.
I've been looking for a savior. I've been looking for a savior.
I wanna but I'm broken hearted. But I like to party, touch, but I got nobody here on my own.
All right, friends, welcome back. We are going to do the last day of writing the essay. This was Pop Anthology 2018. So we'll keep going back. We'll do 2017 tomorrow. Maybe not. We'll figure out. We'll find something interesting. So we have a packed day ahead of us. Today we'll be doing the essay day 2. So we are going to be looking at a couple essay responses on Khan Academy. Like we're going to continue and pick up from yesterday. This will require a lot of reading. So this will require you to be very involved and stay focused. So please focus. If you focus, I have a extremely fun surprise to show you in the middle. It's going to be quite funny. So I have that to show you in the middle as a little break. So be prepared for that, okay? To prepare us for that exercise, can you please write into chat what Instagram account you follow the most, or which Instagram? Well, let me change the question. Which Instagram account? How do we phrase this sentence? Which Instagram accounts apostrophe S posts do you like the most? Does that make sense as a question? So which Instagram accounts post do you like the most? Okay, Trump, most likes for Trumps, for Nimit Mehta, Cricket, Real Madrid, Shawn Mendes, any meme page. Nice. Memes are, Nimit was joking. Run sees wand water. What does that even mean? IB meme pages, cute baby pages. April Kid 6, lol. I have no content. I have zero content literally for now. Be like bro. Oh, this is interesting. All right. So we will come back to this. Text post.pdf. Does that even count? What does it even do? Dad say jokes. The grammar is so off on these account names. Okay, all right. So we've got pretty good. Okay, so we will come back to the surprise. Okay, so let's jump right into it. We will pick up from yesterday. We did the review, if you remember, of the reading portion of the grading, right, of the essay. So today we will review the analysis and the writing. So I will share my screen. We'll go through the scoring. Pay attention to the scoring because the scoring is very important in order for you to know what you have to write, okay? So let me share my screen and let's jump right into it. Right, here we go. So let's take a look at this. Hold on. Yeah, okay, great. So for analysis, to get a 4, we have to offer insightful analysis of the source text, okay? Notice how a 3 is effective, limited, or no analysis, okay? So we want to go from no analysis to insightful analysis. And we have to demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of the analytical task. Here it is an understanding, here it is partial understanding, and here it is no understanding, okay? So this is understanding of the analytical task. So that's how you get a 4 there. offers a thorough, well-considered evaluation of the author's use of evidence, reasoning, stylistic, and/or persuasive elements or features of the student's own choosing. So remember, that was the question when you read the passage. It was a question at the top. So we want to use thorough and well-considered. Okay. Otherwise, you can do competent, identifies and attempts, and without explanation. Okay. So we want to go from without explanation to thorough and well-considered. So notice that in thorough and well-considered, we have to include explanation as well. Okay, so just notice that. Great, so let's do the next one. Contains relevant, sufficient, and strategically chosen support. So support means quotations, right? Remember, if we go up here, we talked here about evidence and quotation in this one, right? This portion here, the evidence. So this is the evidence we're talking about here. So you want relevant and sufficient evidence. So here, to get a high score, you just need a skillful, and you need many. Okay, you need a lot of evidence. And here you need relevant and sufficient. Okay. Notice how here it is. Notice how here it's relevant and sufficient as well, but not strategically chosen. Okay. Here it is no support. And here it is not focusing on features of the text. So even if you do focus on the features of the text, but you give no support, you will get a 2. Okay, but if you want a 4, you have to give support. Support means quotations. And then focuses consistently on those features of the text that are most relevant to addressing the task. Focuses primarily on most relevant, lack a clear focus, and no discernible analysis. Okay, so in your essay, you must consistently, whatever you're writing, must focus on the features that are relevant to the task. So don't talk about things that are irrelevant to the task. Okay, so that is analysis. We're going to do the writing also now. Try to keep this in your head, or write this down. We will revisit this a little bit. Okay. Okay. Let me erase this. Sorry, I was preparing here. Okay, so here we have, let me choose a different color. Is cohesive and demonstrates highly effective use and command of language, okay? Here's mostly cohesive, no cohesion, and then it is highly effective versus limited versus inadequate. Okay, so you want to be cohesive and you want to use highly effective command language. That's not a good proper sentence. Highly effective use and command of language, okay? Includes precise central claim versus includes a central claim or implicit controlling idea. Lack a clear central claim or lack clear central claim or controlling idea, okay? So precise central claim, this usually comes in the first introduction paragraph where you can make a central claim. Includes a skillful introduction and conclusion. So here you go. You have to have an introduction and a conclusion in order to get full marks on the writing section, okay? So your paragraphs should be structured that way. And highly effective progression of ideas throughout the essay and within paragraph, okay? Versus clear progression versus some progression versus no discernible progression. Okay, and lacks introduction and conclusion. So if you remember the example that we looked at yesterday, there was no introduction or conclusion. That's why they got a 1 in the writing section, okay? So has a wide variety in sentence structure. So variety in sentence structure, wide variety. Consistent use of precise word choice and formal style and objective tone. Okay, these are the other 3 things. So here it's wide variety, here it's only variety. Some precise words, and a formal structure versus, what's the difference here? Oh, I guess there's no difference here. Okay. Then limited variety, and then maybe repetitive, and then lacks variety, and then lack a formal tone. Okay, so formal tone, consistent use of precise words, and variety in sentence structure. and the strong command of conventions and virtually free of errors versus good command and errors that detract from quality of writing, limited control versus may impede understanding, and then weak control and numerous errors. Okay, so you can be virtually free. Notice you can be virtually free. Some errors are okay, so still get a 4. And you want a strong command of conventions. Now, this conventions comes from the writing practice, okay? All the writing rules and the grammar rules that we went through, that's where this comes from. So this is a key. We only go through this once in class together, but as you're doing this, I want you to go through this. Let me turn this off. I want you to go through this on your own numerous times. This will be really highly beneficial for you to keep the scoring in your head, okay, as we do this. So let's go back to the exercise that we were doing yesterday, which is looking at the answers on Khan Academy. And then we will look at how they got the score that they got, okay? So let me share my screen here. So remember we did this one, we looked at 2 and we understood that they have 2. So let's look at the analysis, why they got a 1. No understand, well, actually, you know what? Some of you may have forgotten what this person wrote. So let's read this. Okay, so I want you guys to read this now. So please take 5 minutes to read this. And this response is the student's entire response. This is a student's entire essay. Okay, so read this and then I want you to read up till here as well. Okay, so let's review this really quickly. So you've probably read the essay by now. So this response demonstrates comprehension of the source text, although the writer's understanding of the central idea isn't conveyed until the later part. So what we can learn from this is convey the comprehension of the text earlier on in the essay, okay? That's how you can address this. And then this shows where. So the writer has included details from the text, but without contextualizing these details with the Bogart's broader argument. So if you include details from the text, you want to link this to the broader argument. So for example, he talks about sleep, little sleep causing these errors, these health issues. So to link this to the broader argument would be how he is using health issues as a way to persuade the audience that darkness is important. Okay, that's how you link it, and that's what's lacking here. So that linking is necessary. So you understand this. It suggests that you're not understanding. You're just relaying ideas. Okay, so you understand why this got a 2. To get a 2, in the reading section, you need to understand, demonstrate some comprehension of the source text, but it's not making appropriate use of textual evidence and is not free of errors, okay? So let me come back actually really quickly. So before we review the analysis portion, I'll just share with you how to do the analysis properly. So when you're writing the essay, it's best to follow an approach of a 5-paragraph approach. So you do the introduction and the conclusion at the end, right? So that's the first and the last paragraph. And the middle 3 paragraph is you pick one writing technique that you've identified in the passage, and you talk about that in that paragraph. Now, in that paragraph, for that one writing technique, and you should be writing this down, folks, so please get your notes ready. There's 4 points per paragraph. The first thing you do is you talk about the technique from the text. For example, if they're using, if Bogart is using claims of health to persuade the audience of the importance of darkness, okay? So the technique is to talk about health. Then you talk about what role does this example play in the text. So the role of that example would be to use evidence to support his claim, right? So he's using data and evidence and science to support the claim that that darkness is important. So that's the role. The third thing is, how does this affect the reader? So this may affect the reader because readers may value their own health more so that they value darkness. And by linking them together, you are making readers value darkness as much as they value their own health. Okay, so that's the impact on the reader. And then how does it make the author's argument more convincing? Well, it makes it more convincing because it now increases the value in the reader's perspective. It increases the value of darkness in the reader's perspective. Okay, that's the impact on the reader. So to summarize, 4 points in each paragraph. The example of the technique. What role does that technique play in the text? How does it affect the reader? And how does it make the author's argument more convincing? Okay? So technique, the role in the text, effect on the reader, and how it makes the author's argument more convincing or effective. So these are the 4 things needed in each paragraph to get a good score on the analysis portion. Okay, this is material I've gotten from various online sources and test prep material. Okay, so let's jump back in and let's see if this paragraph has demonstrated these 4 steps. Has it done these 4 steps? So let's look at analysis. In this essay, the writer has merely identified aspects of Bogart's use of evidence without explaining the evidence, how it contributes to the argument. So he's done maybe the first part, which is explain a technique. Well, not even. He's just identified use of evidence, but he's not explained how the evidence contributes to the argument. Okay, that's the second portion. What role does this example play in the text? Okay, writer notes Bogart text talks about, this is the quote, other than identifying these persuasive facts, however, the writer does nothing to indicate an understanding of the analytical task. The last step is, how does it make the author's argument more convincing or effective? I'm answering a question in the chat. The writer again mentions persuasion before the conclusion of the essay, but once again, there's no explanation of how or why these features are persuasive. Thus, the essay offers inadequate analysis. So you may think that talking about persuasion, it's pretty obvious how persuading using evidence is a way to persuade the audience, but you must write it out explicitly. It may sound silly, but you must write it out explicitly. So that's how you score more than 1 on the analysis. Okay, so we will only do this for now. Let's go to here. Okay, I would like you all to read this one now. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. If you're done reading this, you can start reading this. Okay, so you must be done with this so far. So let's go through this real quick. So there's effective understanding of the passage with increasing evidence as the response continues. So notice how there's evidence, like there's quotations here, but notice how this is really the only quotation, or maybe there's a quotation here. So there's actually little quotation marks, but there's a lot of, what is it called? What's the word? Paraphrasing. There's a lot of paraphrasing. So that's why if you look at this, you want to have lots of quotations. And so maybe that's why they missed out on the 4. So you want to have more quotations, okay? All right. Discusses personal experience, does not recount the experience. So if you want to, in this case, remember yesterday we went over, don't really repeat what happened in the passage. You want to actually repeat explicitly what happened in the passage if it's supporting your claim. Okay, only if it's supporting your claim. Don't summarize the passage, but use evidence to support your claim. So the cites and discusses general claims. So here, notice these general claims, general points, vague reference. Okay, so you want to make your claims, your points, and your references very clear. So if we go back here, you want to have a comprehensive understanding of the text. You must have clear points and clear references, okay? Otherwise, you are under appropriate. And demonstrate an understanding. If you want to demonstrate a complete understanding, you cannot be vague or you cannot be general, okay? So you want to get specific quotes. And then without offering any specific textual examples that Bogart provides. So this is the portion that I was talking about. There's a lack of quotations in this passage. Okay, so now let's read the analysis portion. The writer demonstrates an understanding of the analytical task by first identifying 3 ways Bogart builds his argument, and then developing each point in turn. So this is really key. This is where they're telling us how you should structure your first paragraph. Okay, so let's go here. The first paragraph should be structured as you are making a statement as to what the author is doing, and then you are adding the 3 things that you will talk about in your 3 paragraphs. Notice paragraph 1, 2, 3, conclusion, okay? So Bogart uses a personal story, appeals to emotions, and states benefits of natural darkness. So here are the 3 ways he will talk about. So that's well done. So we should follow that approach in our introduction, okay? And then each point, okay, in the response body paragraph, writer moves beyond mere assertions to competent evaluations. For example, argues not only that the story allows his audience to connect with him, but explains the importance of such a connection. Okay, this is the importance of the explain. So you want to do 2 things. You want to first talk about the story. Okay, you want to reference what happened in the passage, and then you want to explain it. Okay, so if we come back here, we are talking about, if we go to this analysis, you want to do, or actually it's not really in here. If you look at the 4 things we talked about, right? The first point is example. The second point is what role does his example play? So this is where the explanation comes in. And his explanation is if his audience can relate or even understand his story, they will be more willing to agree with him. This is the explanation of why that is important. And then he also says it can make the audience picture what he saw, and maybe that will make them want to experience it too. Okay, and again, an explanation. And here's the 3rd point, which is what's the impact on the reader? The 3rd point in the 4 point of the analysis, impact on the reader. So the impact on the reader is the reader will want to experience it. The response could have been made stronger if the writer elaborated on the potential effects of making the audience want to share Bogart's experience. So notice how this is, the passage is lacking the fourth point. The fourth point is, how does it make the arguments, the author's argument, more convincing? So this is it. The potential effect of making the audience want to share Bogart's experience. What's the potential effect? Basically, the audience will be more willing to agree with the author's point. That's it. It's pretty obvious, but you have to write it down specifically, okay, in order to get the full marks. So this has done 3 of the 4 things required in analysis. All right. So we will come back to this one. Let me just check in real quickly. Does this make sense so far? Is this helpful? And is this approach making sense? Okay, great, awesome. Awesome. 97, no, 95% of you like it. It's making sense, great. So this can be done even on your own. I highly recommend you to later come back and watch this video again, or go, these are online, this is Khan Academy. Just go on Khan Academy, but in detail. I want you to read this in detail. The key and the answers are in the detail, okay? All right, let's go back here, back to share. Let's look at let's do this one. This one's a good one. Let's look at this one. Okay, I want you all to read. Okay, please read this one. There we go. All right, folks, this is the secret to you getting a high score in the essay. So you should be in love with what you're reading right now. The secrets of your score lies in these words. Okay. If you read up till here, you can start reading this. Okay, so you should be up till here now. by now, right? So let's go through this. So essentially what this person has done, which is really well, is they've introduced three main topics. Natural darkness is beneficial to human, essential to humans, and essential to ecosystems. And then in each paragraph, he talks about this importance. So this person got a 4 in the reading section. So let's just quickly look at the reading. Let's go back here. Okay, so thorough comprehension, central ideas, how they interrelate, free of errors, and use of evidence. Okay, that's what we have. So this person definitely has a thorough comprehension of the source text and the interrelation between central ideas. How so? The author summarizes the three ways, okay, and then provides various details from the text that supports the point. So there's evidence. This is the evidence. So here's an example of the evidence. And then here, there's a connection between darkness as a source of solitude and it inspiring countless numbers of philosophers, artists, and stargazers. So this is where this portion is coming from. The interrelate, okay, this word right here. So what this person is doing is they're connecting darkness as a source of solitude and how it inspired these philosophers. And then he links this to the claim, in this sentence, he's linking it to how this can benefit humans. So that, remember, the central claim is that darkness should be preserved. And so the question is, how is natural darkness being beneficial to humans related to darkness should be preserved? You have to write that out. And then again, how is saying that darkness is essential to humans helping convince the audience that darkness should be preserved? You have to make that link. That's how you get that score, okay? So that's what they're doing here. Although little is directly quoted from the text, so again, they're suggesting and they're pushing us towards quoting, so you should quote. This person is using paraphrasing, which is fine, but you want to use quotes. Again, if the examiner is reading thousands of essays, having a ton of quotations is a quick way to show to the examiner that you know how to use quotations. So this is the reading. Notice how they got a 1 in analysis. So why did they get a 1 in analysis? Let's go here. Let's look at this analysis. Insightful analysis, sophisticated understanding of the analytical task, thorough and well-considered evaluation of the evidences, relevant and sufficient strategically chosen support, and consistent focus on features that are most relevant to addressing the task, okay? Or in other words, the 4 points that we've talked about. Example of technique, the role that technique does, the effect it has on the reader, and how it makes the argument more effective. So although this person comprehends the argument, the writer does not communicate how Bogart builds his argument with evidence, how this person builds his argument. Nor does this writer communicate what effect the argument has on the audience. So again, this is really simple, friends. You have to do steps 2 and 3. So step 2 is, so step 1 is example. So he has examples. Step 2 is what role does that example play? So the writer does not communicate the role. Okay, that's what this is. And step 3 is the effect that this has on the reader. And this is not there. Okay, so step 2 and 3, it's very clearly written out in here that you have to have step 2 and have to have step 3 in order to get the points. Okay. Yeah, so you don't want to consistently lapse. You should not consistently lapse into summary. So therefore, this is how you get inadequate analysis. So though this is very well written, the 4 steps in each paragraph is lacking. Does that make sense? That's how this person got a 1 on the analysis. So let's take a look at a score that got a 4 on the analysis. Let's do this one. This will be really good. So this is the last one we're reading, friends. So let's just jump back in and then, or do we want to take a break? Do we want to take a quick break right now? Let's do yes or no. A quick little break. Okay, all right. 80% of you want a break. Let's do a quick break. So I promised you we will have an interesting thing to show you in the break. So Let me show you that now. But actually, before I show you that, I have some important announcements, which is that next session is a fun session. It's a review session. I will introduce a few more points that I haven't touched on so far. And then we have a little surprise for everybody at the end. So tomorrow, do attend tomorrow. It's a celebratory session. We're ending our SAT together. Thursday, Friday is a session on coding. And it's in the mornings. It's at 10:30 a.m. on Thursday and 10:30 a.m. on Friday, okay? And it's on coding. Now, you may be thinking, okay, I don't need to know what's about coding, but let me tell you what you can find out through that coding class. You will be able to find this out for yourself. So in the coding class, you will be able to analyze, your own Instagram data. So I have done this analysis of this Instagram data for somebody who you may know. I'm not going to say who, but you may know this person. And remember how I asked you what account you followed the most, or what account's content you liked the most? So this is the content that was liked the most by this person. Okay, let me show you this. This is the content that was liked the most by this person. So the person, I think somebody mentioned earlier that Be Like a Bro is what they like the most. So Be Like a Bro was liked 9,000 times by this person. And you will learn how to do this using something called Sql. So this is the Sql query. So it's very simple. You just write this one query. This is all you need to write to be able to write to get this information. And this information is coming from the data dump that Instagram gives you. So we'll walk you through this. And you can find out a lot more interesting things. So let's see, what is this person like? A lot of cricket, tons of jokes, pages. Memes are. Did somebody mention memes are also earlier? More cricket stuff, sports stuff, memes. So you can find out a lot about this person. So, but 9,000 Be Like a Bro. Pretty cool, right? So that was a surprise. That was a fun surprise. So this is for somebody you may or may not know. I won't say who. Now, you can guess if you want who it is in chat. So this is what we will be doing together on Thursday and Friday. So do attend if you want to find out. You can find out a lot more interesting things like whose post, like which account's post do you like the most. You can find out which account advertises most frequently to you. So we found out as well for this person, the account that advertised most frequently was ASUS India, I think, and SAT. There was an SAT account that also targeted this person. So Instagram knows you're attending these SAT classes. So you will find out this information and you can do this analysis on your own. This will be a small intro, and then obviously the CS. So I've now made CS classes live. So there's going to be paid CS classes, which will go into depth of SQL and Python. And we will be doing a lot more into depth into your own Instagram account and Instagram data. So if you register for that, we can answer a lot of fun information, like how long did you have to wait before you followed somebody and somebody followed you back? And then you can do a plot of like who had to wait the longest, who waited the least, what's the average time for you, okay? So lots of cool analysis. So that was a fun thing. For the people that have not filled out these, one second. Okay, I'll get back. We'll get back to that. That's fine. What else is there? Yeah, so remember, Thursday, Friday, it's in the morning, 10:30 a.m. The sessions are recorded. If you have class in school, you can watch it in the evening at 7 p.m. It will be re-aired. But I hope you can attend. This will be a really fun session. Oh, okay, I remember the announcement. The important announcement is, if everybody now goes to the website, there is a page for you to sign up for the CS classes. All of you are already signed up. Don't sign up yet. But we're going to run a little competition, which is we would like to have as many students in Singapore attend these 2 CS classes tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, as possible. So I would like all of you, if you have enjoyed these classes, this is the only thing I'm asking from you. I would like you to share this website with at least 3 of your friends. Let's try and get 500 people to attend the session on Friday. And so that 500 people can analyze their own Instagram data. Okay, so I've shared the link to the website. please share this with 3 of your friends, and if they can attend and register. And on the registration page, there will be a field where they can put in who referred them to the website, okay? And then I will have analysis ready to see who's referred the most number of people. So this is Thursday, Friday. I will be showing, tomorrow I will show a quick review of, I will show a quick review of the competition, like who's referred the most people. So please start referring your friends now. And there's a field in the registration form. If you're registered for these classes, you don't have to register on the CS link, okay? But in the Instagram page at the top, there is a link to register and to also put who referred you, okay? So please do that. Awesome. Okay, so that was a good enough break. Oh, if you don't have Instagram, you can absolutely attend. I will try and make some sample data available to you. So you can do this analysis with some sample data, and then you can get Instagram data from a friend of yours and do the analysis for them. Okay, let's jump back in here. Yes, okay. So please, I would like you all to just read this essay now. Okay, let's look at this. So a couple things you'll notice is that there's a lot of quotations in here. There's lots and lots of quotes. So there's a quotation here. There's a quotation here, 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 here. Even as you're skimming through it, you should be able to see these quotations, right? Here. And notice what this person's done. There's a quotations with this. So essentially when you put a quotation and you put square brackets inside, it means you are altering the text from the source. So let's search. Oh, so he changed my to his, okay? The writer changed my to his. So when you do that, you have to put square brackets around it, okay? So do this. This is a very important thing to do. Please do this. Don't exactly copy paste the quotes. Really have this to score the higher grade. Now let's look into the analysis portion. Let's look at this one. This one is very well written. So here we have make subtle yet efficient use of rhetorical questions. This is the technique that has been used by the writer. And in this sentence, he also says to persuade his audience that natural darkness preservation is essential. So in this sentence, the writer has made a claim that the technique has a specific impact, which is to persuade the audience of the essentialness of darkness, okay? So the first thing the writer does is he puts a quote. The writer puts a quote, which is the first part, right? Which is the technique. So the technique has been talked about here. Technique is supported by a quote. Then by asking this question, Bogart draws out heartfelt ponderance from the reader. So this is the effect on the reader. This is the second, this is the third part of the analysis, effect on the reader. Again, tugs at the heartstrings, more effect on the reader. And then explains why that effect is happening. That effect is happening because the possibility that their child and grandchild will not see may sway them to see as Bogart sees. And now the writer is then getting into how does this make an impact towards the argument. So this is the sways them towards the way Bogart sees is the impact for the argument. So again, more effect on the reader. And here's the statement. This is a statement where the writer is talking about the impact that this rhetorical questions has on the argument. Okay, this is how this person has gotten an A4. So please, if you include all four in every single passage, if you go through, you will see each paragraph has all four. And that's how you can get a 4 on the second part, on the analysis portion. It's actually quite straightforward. I will not say simple, it's straightforward. So we've gone through reading. This is, we've done reading many times, have lots of quotations, understand the content. We've done this. Analysis also, we've done this. So now let's look at writing. Let's look at writing really quickly. So writing is cohesive and effective language, precise central claim. So precise central claim is coming right here. Here. This is the precise central claim. And then each one is linked back for the reading score. So precise central claim, skillful introduction and conclusion. Notice how there's a good intro, there's a good conclusion. If you go up here, if you look at this one, if you look at this one, there's an introduction, but there's no conclusion. There's no conclusion here. And so therefore this person missed out on the 4 on the writing. Look at this, the score was a 3, no conclusion, okay? Effective progression of ideas. This one is more tricky to demonstrate, but basically if you go back to the score that we were looking here, if you just look at this, each sentence builds upon the previous sentence, okay? And then this is all like strong command on conventions, virtually free of errors. I mean, if you remember this, I think this one, there was lots of errors. There was a lot of grammatical errors in here, right? There were spelling mistakes, and there was one where, interesting, it doesn't let me search. Anyways, well, there's one where they used weather instead of weather. You get the point, misspelling. So the writing is actually more straightforward. You just have to make sure you're not making these mistakes. So let me now walk you through how can we do this. So this is done by, I will now show with you my pure notes. And this is your, again, your chance to get a quick screenshot of the pure notes and how to do this. But before I do that, let me just make sure I've touched on everything. So reading, we've touched. Analysis, okay. Writing, we'll touch on this. For tips, have a clear handwriting, write a long essay. Actually, let me just share this. Let's just go through this now. Okay. So this is it, folks. This is the secret sauce from Pulkit. Take it for what it is. Please, again, read online as to other information as well, but this is what you can get. So how to approach studying, get into the mind of the essay examiner, read a passage with a friend, and discuss as many deep aspects of the passage as possible. What that means is if you go here, look at the passage and try and come up with as many things that you could write a paragraph on. So I want you to go through here and look at these answers and see, just like collect the different ways. So for example, here, these are senses is one way of doing it, okay? Ethos, pathos, logos is another way of doing it that we went through. Here we have personal story, appeals to emotions, and states benefits. So having benefits is another way, okay? Here we have beneficial to human, essential to humans, essential to ecosystem. This is not even a writing technique. This is just summarizing the passage. It's another way. If we go here, personal observations, stirring feelings, and startling facts. So again, this is more like ethos, pathos, logos. If you don't know what ethos, pathos, logos is, I would suggest you Google search and find out what that is. Personal anecdote, allusion to art, history, and rhetorical questions. Okay, so you just go online and read as many as you can. And here this is, read high-scoring essay responses from web and collect good statements or sentence information. I really, really recommend you do this. We've only gone through 3 or 4 today. So please, highly recommend you to go through and read as many more high-scoring responses and collect ways and collect things that you can do. Practice writing an essay once a week. And with the things you've collected here, write an essay. Use those same techniques to write an essay. Okay. Have a friend read your essay and tell you if your handwriting was clear. This is really important because if you don't have good handwriting, you will not know this, but your friend will know it. So you'll have your friend tell you. So under reading, write out the main point in the introduction. Show that how the main point relates to each other. Show examples and how they relate to the broader topic. So for each example, show how it relates to the broader topic. Use paragraph quotations with the square brackets. And then support and talk about how these quotations support the claim of the central idea. Okay, so you should have taken a screenshot of this by now because I will be scrolling down. So please take a screenshot. 4 points. These are the 4 points. We've touched on this today numerous times. These are the 4 points. For the writing, make a claim of the author's argument in the intro paragraph. Oh, I don't have this. Have strong intro and conclusion. Use varied vocabulary. So have a list of vocabulary ready. If you're talking about argumentative passages, you can have a list of vocabulary ready. So this goes back to this point, which is collect good statements and sentence formations and then practice with these statements and sentence formations. So you can collect good vocabulary and collect good writing samples from online sources. Again, same thing, okay? So I'm scrolling down. You should have a screenshot of this by now. I'll give you another 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And these are the tips. Clear handwriting, write a longer essay, and indent each paragraph as you write it. And when you're practicing, practice by handwriting. Don't practice by typing, practice by handwriting. Essay structure is intro, 3 body paragraphs, conclusion. Intro is a statement of the main point and the 3 techniques used by the writer. 1 para per technique, and then conclusion. Essay extracts. I've added this because in your pure notes, you should add things you've collected from online. Now, I can't give you essay extracts because then 130 of you will use the same sentences, and which is going to look weird. So you have to collect your own essay extracts from online. And also, I don't have the time to go through and do this with you. So you should be doing this on your own. And your answer approach should be as follows. Read the question, which is both the box at the top and at the bottom. Remember, we looked at the question. There's a question at the top and there's a question at the bottom. Read those first, then read the passage. Let me put with love, okay? As you read the passage, note any tools as you read them. Just note any tools that are coming to mind. And then you outline your essay approach. This is in the outline page. You should dedicate at least 5 minutes, if not more. Okay. Yeah, if you increase this, then writing is reduced. So I'm going to go down here and say, if not more. The planning is the most important part of this. If you plan well, the essay will just come out very simply. So what you plan is, you plan these 3 techniques. And for each of the techniques, you plan these 4 points. Okay, you scribble that down. And you remember the planning page that we had. So you plan here, outline essay approach, then you write the essay and then leave time for proofreading. It's quite important. And then the time I suggest is this. Planning is crucially important. And this is not a lot of time to write a very long essay. So you will have to write quite quickly. So you will have to get really good at writing quickly and handwriting. So I will close this in another 10 seconds. So please ensure that you've taken a screenshot of this. Okay. For the rest of you, I want you to make sure, please make sure you have filled out, oh, interesting. Where did it go again? Please make sure that you have filled out this survey. The survey is important if you want me to keep in touch with you going forward and send you more tips and tricks in the future. So please make sure you filled out this survey. The CS class, which is happening Thursday, Friday, is open to all high school students. So if you have a younger sibling, they should join. It's going to be quite simple. It's open to all high school students. So when you're sharing, please share it with your friends. I'm already getting a few people registered. I have, I think, 6 people registered already for that class. Let's try to get this to 500. Share this with your friends in all of high school, and then we will see who can refer the most number of people. So answering some questions, videos are replayed on the website. They're available on the website, all of the videos, and they're replayed at 7 p.m. every day on this Zoom link. There is no class on the weekend. And there's a celebratory session tomorrow. Join for that. Let's see, any other questions here? Yep, okay, this is it. Folks, this is all I have for you for writing. I hope this was helpful. And now let me send you out with some pop dentology. And if you want to find out, oh, quick poll for you. Are you interested to find out which account you like, which Instagram account you like the most, and which Instagram friend's comment you like the most? Is that something you're interested in finding out? Awesome, nice. 90% of you are interested. That's pretty cool. Okay, I think it will be a pretty fun exercise, and you get to learn some coding along with it. Great, this is all I have. Hopefully this was helpful, and sending you out with pop dentology. See you all tomorrow for the celebratory session.
Y no te voy a negar. You call me all friendly, telling me how much you miss me. That's funny. I guess you heard my song. I woke up Chris Breezy. Oh my God, I'm the man. I'm so fly and I can dance. There's tattoos on my neck.
What's your name? What's your sign? Who that be? In that drop beam, I'm sorry. Blown gas at the bar. Fresh vanilla smooth like a honey, yeah, wine.
Closer, why don't you